Hi, my name is Marjorie, and I'm a documentary-style newborn and family photographer. Parenthood is such a wonderful adventure, but it can feel lonely sometimes. So many experiences we go through are never really talked about. I wanted to create a space where parents can openly discuss their challenges, their successes, and their journeys. This is the resource I wish I had when I first became a mom. This is I Wish I Knew, a series on parenthood.
Hi, I'm Andrew DeVosh-Banks. This is my husband, Elad DeVosh-Banks. We are parents to 5.5-year-old twin boys, Aiden and Ethan. Elad and I met almost 14 years ago in Tel Aviv when I was living there, and Elad is from Tel Aviv. And been together ever since, been married for 10 years. I always wanted to be a father, and I really struggled with this because in my dating history for the longest time, I dated people that didn't. And so it was definitely a relief when I met Elad, and I think it was like our first date. And he's like, yeah, I want to be a dad too. It was just like, came up in conversation.
Yeah, I'm from a very big family, and with like uncles and aunts and like cousins, and everyone's always together. So it's really important for me, the sense of family and coming together and sitting around the dinner table with my kids and have some continuity. So I always wanted to be a father. There's a lot of research for us as a gay couple because clearly we cannot have children on our own. So we needed to use IVF and a surrogate and an egg donor and everything that's involved. We studied the whole thing for years. We did a lot of research. Mm-hmm. I pushed to do it quicker than what Andrew was ready. He wanted to,
I was dragging my heels.
Yeah, let's just do a little piece and then continue. And so there's a lot of like mental, emotional preparation. Financial as well. It's a critical part. After we chose the egg donor, we went through the IVF process and we created our embryos, and then we were ready to move to the next stage, which was to find a surrogate to carry the embryos for us and be pregnant for us. And then we met our surrogate, Amanda, who we love, and we're still friends until this day. Mm-hmm. And she immediately agreed to carry for us. Mm-hmm. It was an amazing process.
The most important thing for us was to have a healthy, successful pregnancy and baby. I mean, especially when you go through IVF. The anonymous egg donor, through her IVF rounds, had dropped or produced multiple eggs, and half were fertilized by Elad, half by me. And then when the fertility doctor did the testing on the embryos, incidentally, one from mine and one from Elad's batch happened to be the two best qualities. So that's what we used. I mean, and it was kind of in the back of our minds. It was just like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like we'll have one of each, genetic material. And the kids are half brothers genetically through the egg donor.
Right, and we actually didn't even know if the pregnancy will be successful or maybe only one will take. So there was no certainty at all that anything will happen.
Also, just to show you, genetics plays no role in this. It's completely irrelevant to the love that our family has and the connections and the unit of the four of us, Elad and I and our two sons. It's hard. It is hard. I mean, the first few months, it's just the sleep deprivation. And I mean, I don't think there's anything harder than that.
One person cannot take care of two screaming, hungry babies that are infants that need to be changed. Like both parents need to be on. And we didn't have the support system with a family around us because my parents are in Israel. We were living in Canada. His family was all in the United States. So we were really on our own. And I feel like if we had some family support, it might have been easier. As a gay couple, you have to work hard to become parents. At first, we were not allowed to get married in this country, and that was changed.
Which is why we moved to Canada, actually.
Right, and that was changed in 2015. Then we we are recognized as a married couple, but we don't have 100% full rights because, well, if your kids are born abroad and this and that, and there are all kind of like little exceptions, you're not treated fairly. And it's always like, there's always something coming at you. And I think like, I did not know that as a parent or someone who wants to become a parent. I thought, oh, you have kids, it's so cute. You just like take care of them, you raise them, they become your best thing in the world. You educate them, you want them to be good people, good citizens. But no one tells you about all the different challenges and struggles you'll experience. When our kids were born, people asked at the grocery store, oh, where's your mommy? And
we would get a lot kind of, oh, dad's outing today. Dad's day out. You left the wives at home. And like, there's so many times I was just like, oh, just leave it. Like, don't correct them. It's not worth
Sometimes we make fun of it. And we're like, oh yeah, we left the wives at home. Now we're together. Like, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's tough. Our society is as progressive as it is. I think we're not there yet, and there are assumptions, which I understand. The mother and a father in a relationship, that's how it was for thousands of years. So I understand those assumptions, but being a gay family, we know we'll have to overcome adversities, and we prepare our kids for it, and we will, prepare our kids.
Yeah, my kids will get made fun of for having two dads at some point, I'm sure.
But I think it will make them stronger.
Right.
Like it did for
and
us.
I think the difference is how we prepare them for those moments and how we prepare them to respond and react. Elad calls himself Abba, and I'm Daddy. Abba means dad in Hebrew, and Elad's Israeli. So, and we've already started to prepare them, like, oh, you guys are special. You have a daddy and an Abba. I don't know any of your friends that have a daddy and an Abba, so you're really special. So trying to plant those seeds that they never have to be made to feel that they're inferior or that there's something that they're missing or lacking for that moment when somebody says something about, oh, you don't have a mom or.
And also the fact that we tell them the truth. We just, even if it's not convenient or it's not easy, we just tell them the truth. It's like, this is how it is, and it might be uncomfortable for you to hear it right now, but it will surely help you to deal with other things in the future.
They're going to grow up having two dads, and they don't have a mom. And I mean, already it's kind of started, because all of their friends have a mom and dad. So it's started, questions about, oh, so-and-so's mom and the other person's mom. And I think Ethan has said something about, he likes to say that my mom, his grandmom, is like a mom. So he'll say, oh, I don't have a mom, but I have a grandmom. And I'm like, yes, you have two grandmas, and they're amazing, and they love you. And, we're trying to not make it an issue and not make it a thing that the boys need to feel bad about. And we tell them, Amanda gave birth to you, but her name is Amanda. Her name is not mom. We don't call her mom because she's not.
And we FaceTime her, and they know her, and they're like, yeah, we grew up in Amanda's belly, and they don't understand the whole process. Of course, they're only 5.5, but they will, and they'll be like, our parents, we couldn't grow up in our parents' tummies, so we needed a woman that was kind enough to do that for our parents, and that's how they'll have this knowledge, and they'll be special for it, because no one else that they would know
went through that as well. Yeah. After living in Canada for 7 years, we were moving back to LA, to California, where my family is, to be closer to my family now that we became parents. Our government made such a big deal about genetics and almost tore our family apart over it.
The State Department policy was that kids that are born abroad have to have a genetic connection to an American citizen to gain citizenship at birth. And I'm just a green card holder, I'm Israeli, and Andrew is an American citizen. And because we had two kids through the surrogacy, that one was genetically related to me and the other to Andrew, they denied the citizenship at birth from the child that is genetically related to me.
Aiden and I we were on our American passports, a lot on his US green card, and then Ethan came in on a tourist visa. He was 9 months old at the time. And then when it expired, he was an undocumented illegal immigrant at risk of deportation. It was so stressful for us as parents. Like, we go off to work, our nanny comes to take care of our 1-year-olds, and we don't know who will come knocking at the door and if they're going to snatch our, because I mean, people were getting deported and they were being taken out of their houses at that time. And I mean, it was a really, really, really stressful time for us.
As parents, this is our obligation and responsibility to fight for our kids and do whatever we can that they will be treated equally, the same way, and no one, not the US government or anyone else, will discriminate against them. We are a married couple. Both of our kids were born as a result of our marriage, so they both should be American citizens.
We sued the State Department, and it was the Trump administration that we sued, and we won, and they appealed, and we won again, and they appealed again, and luckily we ran out the clock. By the time of that third appeal, Biden had won the election, and he had vowed to change this policy because it had gained a lot of attention in the news, and it was at that level of focus. So Biden changed the rules, so we now have nothing to worry about.
Overall, like, being a parent is an amazing thing. You see, your kids grow up, and you see them become, especially at this age, around 5, you see them become little people.
Yeah.
They have opinions and ideas, and it's so fulfilling and it's so beautiful. But it comes with a price. It's hard.
It's very hard. Yeah. But there is
enjoy the good moments, and know that it's not always perfect, but it will be okay. It's like a roller coaster. There will be a good times and bad times, but know that after the bad times will come more good times. I think that before people decide to become parents, they have to make sure that the relationship between the couple is extremely strong. Having kids will test that relationship, and many couples don't endure, and that will damage the relationship forever. So before you do that, get a chance to travel a ton if you like to travel.
Yes.
Have fun as a couple.
Yes.
Fulfill yourself as a couple, know. Enjoy your time as a couple before you become parents.
Yes.
Because if you become parents too quickly,
you
didn't have that opportunity, you regret it.
I think that there is so much emphasis on, I don't want to call it phoniness because it's just not the right word, but it's more of like this facade of like trying to be the perfect parent. Yeah. And it's a bunch of BS. And for the longest time, because I was struggling, like I hated having newborns. And I'm like, when am I going to hit that moment that everyone else says is like, oh, I just love being a parent, and it makes made me as an individual feel really bad about myself because
it wasn't perfect. It wasn't.
No.
There were times that it was great, and there were times that it was a total nightmare. Yeah. That I had to go into the shower and cry because I couldn't handle those kids anymore. I wished we would have discussed how are we going to raise our kids, but it's really hard to do that because you don't know what you're going to encounter.
Yeah.
But there's a constant kind of like conversation that we have to make with each other, of kind of like, okay, so what do we do here and what do we do there? We're not extremely different in our values and the way we want to raise our kids, but sometimes, Andrew is a little bit more hands-off, I'm a little bit more hands-on, and sometimes it's kind of like, don't do that. No, I think we should do this. And it's two different people raising,
and different cultures.
From different cultures raising kids. So talking about this and trying to, I don't know, like.
But a lot of it is like you only know the scenario when you're in the moment, and it's right in front of you, and that's when you react.
Right, but it's something that we have to think about, and it's just always finding the middle ground that will be good for our family.
Yeah. I think for me, the love of the two of them, because that's something that's going to endure after we're gone. The two of them, and they're not having any more siblings. Like, definitely they will not have any more siblings. So
we're done.
Yeah, it's just the two of them, and so to see their bond with each other, and for the first couple years of their life, everyone kept saying, "Oh, you have twins; they must be best friends." I'm like, no, they're 4 months old. No, like, and that was like true for like the good for first like 2, almost 3 years. Like they didn't have a relationship. They didn't play with each other. They played in parallel. And that first time where I saw them hugging each other and saying, "I love you, brother," and calling each other by their first name, it was just really powerful for me. That was probably the best moment, because that was when I saw that link and that connection, and that will never be broken, and they'll always have each other. And to this day, now they're 5.5, and at kindergarten, they're best friends. They play with each other on the playground. Every time we go and, spy through the fence, like, they're playing with each other, which is, with other kids too, but with each other, and it's amazing.
I would say probably the time when I heard my kids say Abba for the first time. They addressed me as their Abba, as their father, and it was like, oh my God, like I always wanted to be a father, and when you hear it from your child, it's just such a powerful moment, and it brought me, I don't cry often, Andrew says I have a heart of stone, but that brought me to tears, because it was just such an incredible moment.
That's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll tune in next time for more stories from parents just like you.